Today marks the first day in our series of a week-long DIY projects that I thought would be really fun to kick off the new year. Well, in my opinion, kicking off the new year because a month ago I was kind of incapacitated. So this is our way of starting out the new year with a bang. And I thought it would be fun to do things that would be different for us, and also it would be a way for you to be able to save some money and experiment a little bit. Each day we're going to have a different topic. The first day we start out with taking a wooden stamp and taking the rubber part off, showing you how then you can make your own storage for it, and I show you a bunch of different tips and techniques on how to put your stamp into the storage and how to use stamps that don't have rubber backing, and also to do things way cheaper than you normally do it. Then tomorrow is going to be a day of making washi tape. That I think I've seen a lot of tutorials on washi tape, and I've never seen this one, but the ones I have seen, a lot of them are a little bit I don't know. I just haven't been thrilled with them. So I'm hoping that our washi tape is a little bit different from the rest. And also we're going to have washi tape storage that also should be a little bit different from others. Then the next day we're going to be showing how to use a Stamp-A-Majig. And also we're going to make our own Stamp-A-Majig. A lot of people have heard of it but don't know what it's for. So we're going to use them side by side, the original and the one that we're going to make, and see how they compare. And then the next day we're going to do a different take on metallic inks than we've done before. Then the day after that we're going to be creating envelopes, and we're going to be doing 4 or 5 different ways to create envelopes. Some will use technology, most of them will not, and I think it's only fair that if you have the technology, or if you are interested in it, that you get to experiment with it with me. And if you want to do it by yourself without any technology, I certainly am on board with that, and we're even going to have an origami envelope that you can make. Then after that we're going to be going right into making your own bow jig. I think this is going to be an experiment. It's going to be something that I haven't done, and I hope you'll bear with me on it because it could be a flop, but I'm hoping it won't be. And you know how I am with bows, so it could be a little bit scary. Then we're going to round out our week with making a stencil. And that's going to be from start to finish, making the stencil out of materials that we have and then using it to make a card. We're probably going to be making a card most of those days because why use these tools if you don't do something fun with it, right? So that'll be exciting. And then after the week's over with, then we're going to go into using some stamps on pottery, and we're going to be stamping on stamping through stencils, doing different things with stencils, doing different things with texture paste, creating our own texture paste. We're going to be doing a lot of different things that are going to be fun in the upcoming weeks. I'd really like your help with the project. I have a vision for my channel, and that is that we continue to grow, and we are growing but at a very slow pace. And I think that's my fault because I'm not very good with technology, and I'm horrible with social media, and I really could use your help with that. I'm wondering if some of you would use your Facebook or your Instagram or your Twitter or Pinterest and link my videos or the homepage to them and get the word out there about our channel. I'm really proud of it, and I think that you all have seen that I really try to do my best in the videos, and I try to create interesting and fun content. I know my videos aren't for everyone, and that some of it's off-putting because, anyway. What I really am hoping, though, is that people who need this channel will find out about it, and I'm having trouble connecting with that audience. And I'm not sure what it will take to do that. But maybe with your help, we could get the word out, because a lot of you do use all the social media that I'm not very good at. So I was really wondering if you would do that for me. I would really appreciate it. You know, I don't sell anything on my channel, and I have no intention of selling anything. This channel is strictly so that people have an outlet to craft when they maybe have physical limitations that normally they wouldn't try to do these things. And I do a bunch of different crafts just because it's nice to be able to experiment with new things, and maybe something that you think you wouldn't be able to do, you find you can do, and that's thrilling. And the comments that you guys have left for me have been so awe-inspiring for me, and I have been so blown away by your responses to the videos, and I am so grateful for the subscribers I have. I just want to connect with more people that need to know about this information, because this is the only channel of its kind on the YouTube, and I would really, really like it if we could get other people to find out about it, and I would so appreciate your help with that. I love this channel, and I'll continue to do these videos until I physically cannot, and I don't foresee that being in the near future. You know, I was making videos when I really shouldn't have been in the last couple of weeks, but I just couldn't keep away from I don't know, I just love it so much, and I'm so grateful to all of you. I thank you so much for subscribing, for watching, for commenting. I love everything. This has been so great, and I just hope that I'm not asking too much of you. I just really want to grow the channel. I'm not trying to get advertising. I'm not trying to do anything other than get the word out there. And if you would help me with that, I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you will join me in these 7 days of DIY, because I've already filmed the first one, and frankly, I make a lot of my normal mistakes, and you'll get a kick out of it, I think. So I hope you'll watch. Thanks again. Bye-bye. Hi everyone, it's Sandy Parker. Welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to take a wooden stamp. We're going to take the rubber off of the stamp. We're going to put it on to an acrylic block and stamp with it. Then I'm going to show you how to then make storage for it. So that's our DIY. This is our first DIY, and we're going to call it How to Create Storage for Your Rubber Stamps. So the first thing you're going to need, and this is what I use, I only use it for this because you can see the gunk that accumulates on it. It's a very sturdy spatula, and I got it at a garage sale. Sorry, I can't tell you any more about it than that. It doesn't have any maker name on it, but it's very, very sturdy. And here's what I do. I take it and I hold it like this, and I put it on the stamp, and then I just push straight down. Can you see how I did that? If you didn't see that, these are Stampin' Up! Stamps. I will tell you, these are the easiest ones to take off the stamp. Then I normally take the little sticker off as well, because when I put it in my book, I want to know what it actually is. So I take that off as well. It's a little tricky, and then I stick it somewhere that I'm going to find it later. I keep those wooden blocks in case I'm going to put something else on wood, so I have a billion of them. And then, okay, we're going to do it again. Can you see how I do this? Put your spatula straight up and down. I'm going to do it with one hand because this is little, so you can see how easy it is. It just pops off. If that rubber backing comes off, it's not a big deal, and I'll show you what I do when the rubber backing comes off. Then, again, all I'm going to do is take that little piece off, and I'm going to put it right there. Okay, so those are off. So let's make our card before we do anything else. And what I'm going to do is we're going to do a little watercoloring, very little watercoloring, because that's not a very big stamp. And I got some of our DIY enamel dots. I thought we'd play with those. And we're going to just put this on an acrylic block straight, so you can see. And this one is a bird, and it says, "A little birdie told me." Now, if it doesn't stick to your acrylic block, it's very easy to fix. There are a few different ways you can do this. You can put a little bit of tape runner on the back of it that'll make it stick to the block. You can put Aleene's, tack it over and over, and that is going to be a product that you're going to want to get if you're going to do our storage system. And the other thing you can use is, I said tape runner, right? The other thing you can use is a little glue stick. So any of those will work. And you just clean your acrylic block after you're done. So I'm going to just stamp this with a little bit of archival ink from Ranger. I don't need that again. I'll do it right now, because mine's sticking pretty good. I wasn't sure if this was, the reason I'm pounding is I wasn't sure if it had much ink in it. But it seems like it does. Put that right there. And I kind of rock them back and forth a little bit to make sure I get a stamped image, and it's a good stamped image. Whoops. Ugh. Not all the way on screen now. I'll clean that in a second. And then it said, the little thing says, I think it says that you're under the weather. The only problem with this is I can't tell exactly, oh, it's that, it goes this way. You're under the weather. And I think I'm going to stamp that in the inside of the card. So here's our inside of our card. Enough on that. Well, we got a little dirt in the inside of the card. We're going to just do what I always do, and that is flip it to the other side. Okay, do it again. You're under the weather. You're under the weather. Okay. Then I should have done a stamp cleaner too, but that'll be for another time. We'll do another video on that. I think that's my wet side. Yeah, that's my wet side. Oh, nice. Got a little more, on the back. Oh boy. I'm just going to clean those two stamps because we're going to use them to go into our system that we're going to use. I'm just wiping off my block, getting that ink off there. Okay, that away. Then, I don't know where that came from. Then all we're going to do, I'm going to cover that ink because you know that's going to end up everywhere. Then what we're going to do is very, oh look, I got a little mark there. I told you my little inky fingers would end up causing problems. We're just going to make our birdie a little bit darker purple on the bottom and around the top. Make his wing a little bit darker, and then we'll make the rest of his body just a little bit less. And of course he needs to have an orange beak, and this is scary because I'm doing it without my glasses, so I don't even know what it looks like right now. And those, oh by the way, those were Prismacolor pencils, and the purples that I used were lilac and violet, and the orange is orange. Isn't that weird? Shocking even, I bet. Then I'm going to use a blender pen that's from Stampin' Up. This is where it makes it look like I'm actually know what I'm doing with watercolors. I know it's shocking to you that it could do that, but it's going to make me look like I'm an artiste, even though I'm not. Yeah, and this probably would go really better if I had my glasses on. Oh, missed outside of the line. Outside of the line on my birdie. Okay. And then all you do is you just kind of scribble it off, and then we'll do our little beak. Then, because I made this little boo-boo, we're going to take our little dots. That'll be, cleanup will be a breeze on that, I'm sure. And hopefully this glue will come out. Little dot right there, little dot there, a little dot there, a little dot there, a little dot there. Okay, should we go with, let's go with some white ones, and then we can change over if we want to. Ooh, I found another little DIY that I really thought was cool, and I'll do it on a video. Ooh, run, little. A little more. What we're gonna do, what you do, you know those tools that pick things up, and I have one, but of course I don't know where it is. Anyway, those little tools that pick up little things like this and drop them back down. Anyway, those can be easily reproduced by you just take a glue dot and you put your little glue dot on the end of a skewer, and it instantly turns into one of those picker-upper things. Isn't that genius? I don't know who I saw do that, but I saw somebody do that on one of the YouTube channels, and I thought, that's a genius idea. I'm going to blend our little birdie just a little bit more because she looks a little crazy. Again, I would probably know how crazy she looks if I was wearing my glasses, but I don't. Then I have this cute backing that we are going to use a little tape runner on, hopefully. That's going to go on. Probably was smart to pull all those out, wasn't it? Okay, that's going to go on the front of our card. Close enough. Then we'll take our little birdie. I was going to pop it up, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm just going to tape runner her on because we really need to get to all of our business at hand, and I'm going to just do it on this piece because I have all those dots that are still drying on this piece. Okay, so there's our quick and easy little card that we made. It's a little bit of nothing, but it'll be cute. And you know what, that one moved a little bit. I might throw a little washi tape on there later too, and if I do, I'll connect it up at the end and you'll see a photo of it. So the next thing we're going to do, we'll put our little card aside, is we're going to talk about how we're going to make our storage. Here is our binder. I really recommend, I'm going to put this as far back as I can. I really recommend a binder that has this kind of look to it. Can you see that look? Sorry, in this look. You want to make sure that your binder, if you can, that it's a 3-inch binder and that it has this one side's flat and one side's curved. It makes it a lot easier to use. But you don't have to. These are the traditional pages that you buy. Now I buy 4 of these and it's usually about $1 a piece. That's not really cheap to store rubber stamps on, but that's how I do it. Can you see? I write in there, it's Unity, Be Happy, Hexagons. That's how I do mine, and I wanted you to see that. This is the storage I created the other day. I wanted you to see that I attached some rubber stamps onto it already, and I wanted to show you how you trim rubber stamps, so I thought we would do that real quickly with one of these. Here's how you do it. You need your Tim Holtz scissors. You want to get as close as you can to the stamped image, and I would be better if I had my smaller Tim Holtz, but I can't figure out where they went, and it's really making me crazy because I can't live without them, and I just don't do well with these big long ones, but I'm living with them for right now. Anyway, you want to get as close as you can to your image. It's important that you get as close, but don't cut your image. If you cut your image, well, you've kind of screwed up your stamp. So you don't want to do that. But in my case, I'm going to have to, because I can't control the top of these scissors, I'm just going to have to kind of hack at it for you. And then that's that piece. Again, it's not as important that you get right to the edge, but while you're doing it, you might as well get as close as you can, because that's what gives you those really funky lines. If you've ever had a really weird line that appears on the edge of your stamped image, the reason you get that is because you have the corner of your stamp is imprinting onto your your image. So how you avoid that is doing exactly what I did. And here's the image. It has a little bit of Aleene's Tack It Over and Over on it, and I don't have enough on there, so I'm going to put a little tape runner on it for now to get it to stick to the acrylic block. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to stamp our image, and I'm just going to get a scrap piece of paper for this. And I normally would probably put something like this on my rock-a-block, but I might be able to get a good enough stamped image of it if I rock back and forth. There you go. Whoops, upside down. Anyway, that's how I take them off the block. And I do not put that rubber, that backing on it, that foam stuff. It's expensive, and if you use a rock-a-block, and those are well worth the money. If you use a rock-a-block, that will print any stamp. And if it's a really big image, what I would do is stamp it in the reverse, where you put the stamp on the ground and you put your paper on top of it. So I'm done with that one. So anyway, that's how I take it from rubber. And if it has no backing, I buy these very inexpensively. This is from Just for Fun, by the way. I love their stamps. They have some really cute original stamps. And I'm not sponsored by them, but I just like their stamps. Anyway, I never buy the foam backing for them because I use either a rock-a-block or like I did just now. And I'm just going to put that back in my book, and that page is done. That is a page I made myself, and that's what we're going to do today. This page is a Special K box, and it's covered with paper, and then it's covered with contact paper. So what you do is you cut your box. You're going to need good sturdy scissors for this. Again, I would probably get the Tim Holtz scissors, and you're just going to glue down the this paper to it. Now, it's really important when you do your 3-hole. I'm going to take this out of the way because you don't need it right now. It's really important when you do this that the 3-hole punch is what you focus on. Your holes have to line up. It's imperative that your holes are in the right places, or you'll never get this thing to move around in your book. So I don't know necessarily if you need to see me cover this with, I think you all know how to glue paper down onto this surface. I think you know how to do that. Once you do that, what you do after that is this. You would line it up. This is how I did it. I took anything that had 3 holes like this. Then I took a pencil and I marked where my holes needed to be, lining it up. You see how I lined it up with this edge and this edge? Well, all 4 edges. I don't know if you can see those. I'll hold it up to the camera better. You see those orange dots? That's where we're going to want to punch. Now, I did these 3 different ways. One of them I did with, I'll call it the hardest, most painful thing in the world. I used my pokey tool, and I just kept doing this around and around and around and around and around until I went through. That was plan A. Plan B was using my crocodile. That worked okay, but I really wanted to try with the 3-hole punch that I didn't have before, that was downstairs. And we have this one that has a lever on it, and I wanted to see if that would work. And it won't. Okay. So what we'll go back to, it probably would if I really wrangled it around in there, but it's not worth that to me. So what I would do instead is the first thing I would do is I would poke through with the crocodile, keeping in mind that it's really important that you clean out that little hole on the side every time you use it, because you need to see everything you're doing with this. Okay, what you do is you're going to line that little hole up with your orange dot, and then you poke through, and I poked through a couple times to make my hole bigger. Then we're going to go, hopefully you saw that. If you didn't, you have lots of opportunities, because I'm going to do all of them. I don't know why the paper never comes out of that hole, but it never does. So then you're always left trying to see something you can't even have a clue what it is or where it's at. And then I'll probably have to have my head in this one because it's harder to see than the other ones. And I'll poke another one right beside it. Okay, so I made my holes big enough. Then what you do is you would put it on with your cardboard. And I'm only going to do one of these holes because this is, I'll be honest with you, it's not an easy process, but it's worth it. If you have somebody else who can do this part for you, use them. If you have a crocodile, it's not that bad, but it's not that easy either. So if you have somebody who can help you do this, have them do it for you because, oops, I went to the wrong place. Because it isn't, like I said, it's just not, it's not as fun as you would think it would be. So I did 2 holes all the way through, and I could do a third, but I'm gonna leave that for later because it takes up too much time, and you know how to poke holes, I'm pretty sure. So then what you do is once your holes are poked, then you go to the third step. Now this one, when I made it, I was kind of tired and I didn't really make my measurements as properly as I should have, so it's smaller than the rest of the ones I did. I don't know what I was thinking, but you can imagine I was not in the groove when I did that. So what you want to do is no matter what size paper you have, we're going to use contact paper. I don't know if this is true, but I heard from someone else that the Dollar Tree sells this. I went to mine, and mine is one of the crappiest ones in the world. It's very small, and it doesn't have half the things you'd really want it to have. But anyway, I went there yesterday looking for it, and I did not find it. Okay, here's what you're going to do. I hope you can see this. What you're going to do is I want you to cover the edge all the way to almost the center. Then you're going to go like that and put it down. Then do the same thing with the back, and then you want to make sure it's really adhered, and then you cut it off. Now once you cut it off, I also went around the edge again when I cut it off and made it so that man, this stuff, you want to work with me, people. I'm going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to just, you know how when I do things, it's like a comedy of errors. And that's why you love me, because I can't do anything right. Okay. Okay. Oh! Tricky. Now, again, this part wasn't really as straight as I want it to be, or as flat, I mean. So, if you have a brayer, that'll come in handy for this little project, because you really want this to be flat. I think I'll just go around the edge again, and I'll show you how to do. The more layers you have of this, it's kind of better because it makes it stiffer. And then what I did before is I wrapped some packing tape around the bottom edge and the top edge, just to make sure that my seams were really good, well adhered. Does that make sense? I think it should. And then I did this. I cut these edges. I don't know if you can even see that. I'll have to turn it, I think. I cut these edges like this, and then I took the back. You know me and things that are sticky. I took this piece and cut it off. I'm going to go to my demon stick. You know what that is. The X-Acto knife. Okay, I bought this off eBay, and it is the worst X-Acto knife ever made. The blade literally bends when you use it. And so I thought I would just use it for this as its last moment of use. And then I'm going to use it on this other side. When this stuff adheres on itself, it's really fun to play with. Okay. Most of it's off. I just don't want to cut through that second layer when I hopefully get this stuff to cut. And then once you get this cut off, as I said, best X-Acto knife ever. Oh, thank gosh. It's the end of that X-Acto knife life, in my house at least. It's going to have to go in the donator pile. Okay, then I just took my top of my contact paper and I folded it over like that and try to get as many of those little ridges out as possible. Cut the rest of this off the edge without cutting yourself, and then I need to get my brayer in action here. This piece is just maybe too long. I don't care. It'll work. Then what we're going to do, this is how I put these down, the images that I put on my new page. What I do is we'll use this side. I take the image and I have both of these. Now, this is where the Aleene's comes in super handy. What you're going to do, don't put tons of it on. This is because this doesn't have much stick to it right now. But I put little dots, like all over the paper too, but what I do is I put like maybe that many little dots. Then I'll take this image and I'll stick it as close as I can to the hole that I've punched. And then I put this image as close as I can to the little birdie told me. I'll put it below it this time. And then, oh, where'd my little note go? Darn it. It's probably adhered somewhere else. I don't know. I'll have to find that little note for what this one says on it. And then I just stick that one down, and when I find what it says, I'll stick that right beside it. But that's how you make storage. I know it looked a little bit crazy, but the problem really is that I literally have this much space to work in, so it becomes very cumbersome to try and work with things like contact paper. If I was you, I would stand up, I would put it on a flat like dining room table, and then when you have it on your dining room table, you ought to be able to work with it a lot easier than I was able to, because again, it's space that I'm not working with the greatest amount of workspace here. But that's how you make your storage. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you'll give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I also have never told you guys this, but I don't know if you know this, but I have a blog that I write on every day. It's craftingforalmosteveryone.com, and it's kind of a fun blog. I just most of the time I just write silly things that I talk about crafting and what I've done in the day, etc. But I'd appreciate it if you go there and read it and see what you think. Oh, I didn't cut the bottom edge of this off. And I also would really appreciate it if you like any of my videos, if you would forward them on Facebook to other people. I'm trying to, as I said in that other note, that I'm really trying to build my subscriber list to 500 by June, and that's only because I really want to get the word out so that more people know about it and can have fun with us. So thanks again for watching. Please give it a thumbs up. There's the thumb, and subscribe, and I hope you'll stay tuned for tomorrow. So in our next day of our DIY week of what we're going to be making tomorrow, we're making our own washi tape and a washi tape holder. So please stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.